All right, all right. All right, all right, Islam, yeah. You see how it go. Every time I start reaching the pinnacle of my lecture, there's always a time limit now, right? So this will be part 2 of adrenochrome manipulation exposed, right? So the children, 18 to 26, being drafted into another fake illusion that's disguised as a war when it's already a spiritual war going on 24/7. It's been going on. Last thing is to draft your soul, and you need to take yourself all the way out of their jurisdiction. That's the only thing that's going to save you, is getting back to the real Christ consciousness, which means putting your word into action. To say, no, you're not my God. You don't make the sun and the moon rise, and you for damn sure didn't create me. And you're not my mother and father. You have to speak up. It's really more science. It's really kind of simple. It really just gives you the courage and the bravery and the study of your mother and your father, your ancestors, so you can have true and real confidence. Because it's finna go down. Major. They have nowhere else to run. The last thing they chose to do was put Diddy on the screen and say, look, we got your man. Got your man. You hate him, don't you? Hate Diddy, don't you? It's the last thing. So, go back and watch part 1. But we want to talk real quick before we get out of here. Quick 10 minutes for y'all. About what really happened with Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali when Elijah Muhammad found him and brought him back home. Need to stop disrespecting Elijah Muhammad and realize that he's just another student of Noble Drew Ali. And all he did was strategically bring the Moorish nation in through what is called and what we call the Nation of Islam. I know a lot of y'all not going to agree with that. I know a lot of y'all don't like to hear that. And I know a lot of y'all hate Elijah Muhammad. But let's talk about what he did for Cassius Clay at a time that's coming again right around the corner. It's probably not going to be nobody in office, because this new world order don't require no president and none of that stuff. They don't need them for that. They've only ever needed them and only ever needed them for distraction, so you could look on the screen and say, well, that's who it is. So when Cassius Clay was becoming to and starting to get more fond of real Islam, I, self-law and master, and this Nation of Islam and this man Elijah Muhammad, while he's working for the colonizer hybrid European, they took notice. They knew he was very intelligent, just being Cassius Clay. Just being the man of clay that was planted in the soil anyway. That can see, Cassius, that can see with a different eye that you can't see on him. Anyway, he started becoming very fond of him and Malcolm X and what they were speaking about from this Nation of Islam. The minute that he took interest, they started a draft for a fake war. The only thing, and I mean the only thing, that saved his career, that saved his life in the Nation of Islam, that saved his status in society as a free man, The first public free man that we seen as a professional boxer on the TV screen, representing a nation of Islam, meaning of peace, or of I self-law master. So the only thing that saved Cassius Clay was Cassius Clay changing his name and correcting his status. Go look, it's on the books, it's on the records, as Asiatic. Not black, not colored, not a Negro, as an Asiatic. That means a divine human being, true and living, sentient, true and living, walking God that is part and parcel to the earth plane from the heavens. Asia is the all-seeing eye on the mountaintop of the rock. The rock. So Elijah Muhammad said, look, this is what we're going to do. Because this is for all of us. It's not just for you, Cassius Clay, but you are a representation of all the Asiatic people that's going to essentially learn the whole truth about themselves and enforce it one day. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you the highest title that you can have in Islam, and it's called Ali. That placed Cassius Clay in a corrected status of being an exalted being, because that's what Ali is. It's a person worthy of praise, which he was. He was like a president amongst us when he was Muhammad Ali in his prime time. He was the best example on that screen, and they couldn't do nothing about it. Had to poison him and kill him off in his latter days, because he knew some secrets that still haven't been revealed. So anyway, Elijah Muhammad said, I'm a student of Noble Drew Ali. We're going to set an example from here and on great fortunate days to come, and we're going to give you the highest title, Ali. And you're going to be the greatest representation of a human being and the greatest representation of a dark-skinned human being representing Islam, real Islam, meaning that the truth and man are one, or God and man are one, and he's active in that in society with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You see Muhammad Ali with a fez on? Come on, man. With all white. A freed man. So they gave him the highest title. That's why when he went to the de facto court system, they couldn't do nothing about it when he changed his name back to his aboriginal title. Under his free nation that they called the Nation of Islam, which they had every right to do and enforce the meaning of the name. That's what really happened. So young man, I challenge you to study and young woman between 18 and 26, that whole scenario that happened with Cassius Clay changing his name to Muhammad Ali and correcting his status for the CDC to know it's Asiatic. But you got to prove that. Me telling you that is nothing. This is what me, Taj, and everybody else has been getting you in alignment with for what's to come. It never was about you and what you're doing with your job day to day and how you getting by. It's always been about what's coming and what's on the way. So study and examine that. And look how Muhammad Ali represented himself as a true and living being in society ever since he got that Ali glorious. He said, I asked Allah for wealth and he gave me Islam, saved my life. What you think he meant? Not some dogma system. No, being a master and being one with what he calls Allah. That's why back in the days in the newspaper, it had the title and it said Allah is the greatest, and it had him with his hands up. Arm, leg, arm, head, one and the same divine spirit. It's the greatest when you reach that pinnacle within yourself. So don't go fight for them. Go study Muhammad Ali. Study what he said when he was Cassius Clay before he became Muhammad Ali. And study how Elijah Muhammad moved and how he talked about him during that time. Because they come in to draft you. They come in to get you ready to fight against your mother and your father. This is written in all your good books. It's already happening on a surface scale, but we're talking about on a malicious, a militia system. See how it's malicious? And the truth would destroy all of that. Gave him Ali. And Elijah Muhammad took on the title Muhammad because when you say Muhammad, it's just as synchronistic as saying Ali. You see how he took those titles from what you thought was a dogma system, which is really yours. Islam is yours. You just don't recognize it. Mu, the land of Mu, Islam was at North America before it was anywhere else. That's why it was brought back home to North America with clarity from dark-skinned beings. You don't get it? It wasn't brought back home with clarity to Arab systems and them. They not even Arab. That's not even a people. Middle Eastern is not a people. Persian is not a people. No, we brought Islam, I, self-law, and master back to the Americas where it started in the first place. I know a lot of y'all not going to agree. But you don't know how universal Islam is just by saying I, self-law, and master. Don't have no system attached to it. It's about being true and living. And being a real God and the real responsibility and the real accountability inherited. That's what happened with Muhammad Ali. He inherited. He inherited Muhammad and Ali. The two main titles that you can have in that system of nobility in Sharia law. Sharia law is mama's law. It's just universal. It's just the truth. Under the umbrella of divine authority. That's it. So you have Muhammad and Ali. And ever since then, you could not draft a being that took on titles of nobility. Stop looking at it as religion and look at it as titles of nobility. That's what they did. Yeah, back then they were still using black and stuff like this. But the code word was Asiatic. No matter what, as in the Nation of Islam, at the end of the day, yeah, we might say black and all this stuff, but they know they Asiatic at least. But Muhammad Ali is documented for the record for their whole nation as being an American diplomat in the Nation of Islam, a boxer, a star, a real star, a 5-pointed star, a 5-star general. And he spit all kind of rhymes and proverbs to help you with your growth. from his shine. Muhammad Ali. 2 titles of nobility. At America, not over there. At America, not over there. Oh, well, you see, I don't do no Islam and stuff, and that's a different religion and stuff. No, that's a whole lot of reflection and divine reflection about everything who you are and who your ancestors are without doubt or contradiction. That you have to prove to yourself. So Muhammad Ali proved that to himself. Because back then, you couldn't talk like how I'm talking now. Not freely. You had to have secret organizations back then. But even Noble Drew Ali said, with this truth, I took the cover off all the secret organizations. Hey, brother. Hey, you don't need to wear that fez with those markings on it now. You can come out with a plain fez. He did that. Because these things were already transpiring behind the scene. We were already having talks as the collective of tribes together, coming together on what we need to do for our people. So, Elijah Muhammad did that for him through the teachings of Noble Drew Ali and the 5 Moorish divine titles of the Al-Moroccan Empire, the Americas. It's all connected. Whether you look on some Hebrew thing, still got El, still got Baith. It's all connected. You just got to bring all the tribes home. Well, this Islam and stuff over here, they saying Shalom Alaikum and they saying Assalamu Alaikum. There's really no difference. He's saying Sadaqah and he's saying Sadaqah too. I think we just need to agree on truth and realize that truth is really the real religion. So that's why they don't want the mothers, the daughters on earth to know the truth. Because once they have this and they speak like this, everything is over. Because then they'll continue to produce the children that know. And then they produce the children that know. And then they'll produce the children that know. So then we'll never be in an unknowing ever again. And we won't have to be at war with each other ever again. Because if you're really about tribalism, then you about nationhood and agreeing on truth and realizing that we all have had a common enemy that have always been after our prized possession, the children. So Muhammad Ali was the greatest example. And Layla Ali, she know the truth. That's why she not mixed up in all that Hollywood shit. She stand on her authority and what her father taught her behind the scene. He taught her how to be a real Muslima with Sharia law. You just got to stand on divine law, really. Really, that's what this thing is all about. If you saying that you some God or that you worship some God, then prove it. Prove that you're not a slave, period. That's what Muhammad Ali had to do back then. You know how much cojones you got to have back then when we were still calling ourselves black to come out and call yourself Muhammad and then Ali at that? The modern hybrid European knew what they was doing. They said, God, I can't believe it. I can't believe Elijah Muhammad just did that. Now we come into latter years, and now you know what that was all about. They tried to break a strong, dark, melanated man down in front of all of us, and it didn't happen. We need to multiply that action. We need to multiply that production, that representation of what a man is, standing on an authority of God, or in other words, standing on the authority of what he says, and he can prove it. So those who are 18 to 26, right now, you want to get on major studies about being about nationhood and not being a stateless person. You want to stand on principles over your personality and your feelings. And study things that have already come to pass. Things that have already happened under what Noble Drew Ali already brought long before it happened. They used what he brought to free their whole nation. They just created their own nation outside of that. That's all they did. Same principles though. As you can see, I haven't seen no other movement get our women right and covered up. At least they doing that. Why you want to curse them and damn them and be mad at them because they still calling themselves black? At least they unified. At least our women are safe over there. Need to realize why these things are put in place. Stop talking shit about them and get on board. Or else you're going to perish. Nature ain't got no more time for that shit. Study what Cassius Clay did. And what they really did with the Nation of Islam. Because if anybody needs to be protected, it's a lot of them young warriors over there that they don't need to get drafted into that experience. Not whatsoever. It's a lot of warriors in the Nation of Islam. It's a lot of them. And a lot of them is true and divine. They ain't about no bullshit. They just missing a couple pieces when it comes to the law side and how to protect their family on that side. But it really, essentially, it's all divine. It goes back home to the divine. It all comes home back where it came from in the first place. A mother. A vine. Y'all might want to start getting serious about a lot of different things that's to come, including the next wave of hokey pokey. Might want to start looking into immunization writs and drafting writings for yourself. Even just being a mother and father. The same way that you could write a note for your children being SICK and not coming to school and being absent. Same way that you could write a note of authority and sign your signature on it from your hand to protect them. Write for them. Speak for them. But you got to know better. You got to want to know better and do better. Because right now, ancestors ain't playing. Ain't no more pearls being lifted to swine. This is all divine. You can take it or leave it. Because when that shit hit the fan for real, it ain't going to be no kind of incense and it ain't going to be nothing but smoke. And you're going to want to have some water. You're going to want to be in the water. And you're going to want to know how to speak water for your son and your daughters. Get real about your life, man, and being a real divine human being versus being just a human. Because they've been treating you like an animal for so long. That's why you need permission and license to do things. Because dogs and cats can't speak. Dogs and cats can't drive. Dogs and cats not supposed to be working and having jobs. You're looked at as an animal with an animalistic and a minority mind state until you correct it. How do you correct it? You make it known. If you want to be a part of the Moorish nation, you must be about responsibility and accountability, because that's what you're doing when you come in here. Don't come in here looking to cover up. Look to come to swing a sword. Don't come here looking to hide. Look here coming to get active. That's how you do it. You enforce what you study. But you got to make sure what you're studying, and you got to make sure that you yourself is the truth. Proclaim. I don't know how many people I've been having private conversations with on how to proclaim your nationality, and do you go through the U.S. court system, and do you do it this way, and do you fill out this application over here from these dirty Moors in Baltimore, and is asking about where you work and what's your age and all this stuff? Bullshit. First of all, what makes you think that you got to go to some court system on your land, now that you know it's your land, that has no authority over you, to change your name and correct your status just so they can say, oh, you're good, you're okay, now you're good, now you can go out in the world and be such and such Ellen Bay? That's ignorant as fuck, to think that they give you that power and you don't give it to yourself, and you don't get it from your own nation. Yeah, the temple. But if the temple is not right, the head is not right, then they're not conducting right business. Because most of the temples have been converted into 501c3 incorporated churches. And they just been stealing the information from BC to Social Security and stuff from the people, and putting them right back into slavery. So the temple is not the answer. Your temple is the answer. You got to get active and want to be active. Noble Drew Ali said, not just the Moors in the temple, all faithful and loyal Moors. The job of the temple is to teach you how to go out and live in society, not to stay there. What makes you think that that's in game? Get real with yourself and start using common sense. Proclaim, declare. Go look those two words up in law, in a law dictionary, and then get back to me. And then we can have a real conversation if you really for real about what you need to do. Go look up what you're asking. Go study your question, and then go ask the question again and see if it's different. I guarantee it'll be. How do you do it? How do you proclaim your nationality? What does proclaim mean? I'm asking you. What does nationality mean? I'm asking you. If you don't know, you need to admit that you don't know, and you need to stop listening to other motherfuckers and go look for yourself, just like everybody got to go look in that Bible or go look in that Quran or go look in that Torah for they self. Stop waiting on people to do it and waiting on people to tell you how it's done. Noble Drew Ali already laid the foundation. His literature is still alive. This Circle 7 Quran is still alive. A lot of your answers is already right under your nose. Literally, your answers are right under your nose. You the question and the answer. Get off of YouTube all day and go really study yourself. Because until we respect what he did, and I keep pointing over there because I have him uplifted in my room. It's divine reflection. That's literally Yahshua that was amongst us. That taught us about not only our earthly salvation, but divine salvation, and divine first, then earthly. He's the one that did that. And then he taught everybody else, literally, even your democracy that's running your fake government, they studied that man. Because everything he brought that will save a nation. But when it's in the wrong hands, it could destroy a nation. This all your dirty Moor Science Temples of America, and they know it. Go call them out. Hey, I'm just curious. I want to know how y'all operating. Hey, I'm just curious real quick. I want to know if y'all incorporated or not with the U.S. Because that's not what Noble Drew Ali did with our authority. He recorded our authority. It's not in their hands. It's not in their jurisdiction. Meanwhile, you got these dirty Moors that think that they're doing something with brick and mortar, but got 501c3. Might as well just be a regular church. They're not saving and helping nobody. Trust me, I know. I've made my rounds. I haven't been to a 100% clean temple yet. Not a Moor Science temple. Had to create one. Not getting you ready for nothing but slavery. If they're not keeping Allah first and teaching you how to enforce Allah, and they're not putting supreme respect on Noble Drew Ali's name and really teaching what he taught, don't belong there. It's a slave camp. Better not proclaim your nationality at one of them. They're going to use that straw man and use it, and I mean use it. Need to get for real. Need to get for real, for real. And get with active Moors. Ain't that what Noble Drew Ali said in his prophecy? Get with the Moors that's doing good. He didn't say go get with the temples. Go study what he said. Because all these little, and just to call them they just dirty Moors, period. Okay? And a lot of them Grand Sheiks is Freemasonic. They don't even give a damn about Moor science. Noble Drew Ali said, when it come in time in these days, when the mothers and fathers is at war with their own family, get with the Moors that's doing some good, that's active. These temples not active. Need to get for real. How many of y'all have read the legal notice and judicial proclamation in detail? There's instructions in there from Taj Tariq Bey. Everybody got this file, even dirty Moors. They don't even read. There's instructions there. Shouldn't really be asking anybody how to do it. Taj already set it up. Perfect. And I mean perfect. Well, I done been to RV Bay and I got that paperwork and stuff. What do you really do? No, nigga, you need to slow down and sit down somewhere and read. It's right there. Protocol and procedure. It's all there. It's like it's like Taj gave you the cheat codes and all the answers. All you got to do is just go do the work. But doing the work is not always about going to get or do something. Sometimes doing the work is just doing your shadow work, facing your demons, facing your devil. If man wants to find his devil, he got to look within. If man want to find his real God, he got to look within. Can't blame nobody for shit no more. It's you. You pick which one. But make sure it's the truth. And make sure they both come into the truth. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here before they give me another time limit. Because I'm not on their time. I ain't never been on their time. For them, it's 2024. For me, it's still 1445 Moorish calendar year. And even if you look on the Ethiopian calendar, nigga, we still 7 years behind. It's still 2017. Might want to start looking at these calendars and go study and look at what the type of events that happened in 2017. Because that's what they use for their rituals to revamp them. They use our calendar systems to alchemize their Gregorian calendar. They use our real time for their fake shit. It's all fake. So look, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here because I'm not on their time. And I'm not going to go through another time limit on my time and my freedom of speech as per my First Amendment or First Bill of Right through my constitutional secured immunity, freedom of speech. See how I just laid that out without saying I'm a Moor and all and anything? See how I just laid it out through constitutional fold of government? Because that's what you really need to be about. Being a Moor is about being about the Constitution and enforcing it in the first place. Correct? I'm on that time. I'm on that time for the women and children. I don't give a damn about no little stinky man right now. What's the mothers and the children gonna do? Because she's the real master on earth. And she need this inheritance. While we arguing with each other, all the answers is right here. While we out arguing about who's the tribe over here and who's the real tribe over here and who's not, everything has already been laid out. While we arguing about who got the complexion and who don't, it's never about who's being divine. Who's getting back to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's who matters. So look, all y'all, and I see most of y'all are asking, well, how do you do it? I see the comments. I see what y'all saying. How do you do it then? How do you proclaim and declare your nationality? I'm going to say it again. Go look up the word proclaim. Go look up the word declare. Go get those writs that Taj already put out years ago called legal notice, name change and correction, and judicial proclamation. Take time out of your day from the fuckery and the distractions and sit there and read. and sit there and read, because it's instructions in there on how you go about proclaiming your nationality permanent and general and permanent in character, meaning that it never changes, it doesn't expire, and it can't be begotten. Because I guarantee you, in them writs, we mention all the tribes, and we put them in at home, under the mother, under the nation. Don't even get the flag twisted. This is cosmic. The red is protection of self. The green is the love for self. Everybody got to inherit the love for their lower self and their higher self. That's universal. That means everybody was moored here on earth, and they got to do more than what they thought they was doing already. Stop putting this movement in a box and realize that it's infinite and it's everlasting gospel or everlasting great news or good news. And it brings everybody home. Whether you want to be from a tribe, or you claiming you Hebrew, or you Islam over here, or you read the Torah, or you whatever. Even if you coming from Freemasonry or Masonry, come home if you really want to come home. I guarantee you, in those writs that Taj wrote, it mentioned the 5 tribes. It mentioned the great law of peace from Anansi, or what they call Iroquois, or what everybody is arguing about right now on who's the real tribe and who's not, and who's the real 5 and who's not. It's all in there. And I know sometimes Taj be like, man, what the fuck? And did all this shit. So, once again, before I get out of here, everybody that's been asking, how do you do it? What do you do? How do you do it? What do you do? Go look up the word proclaim, the word declare in law. Go look up the words that you don't know in law that come from those definitions specifically. Start there. That's a perfect start. After you do that, get the legal notice and the judicial proclamation and really read it. And before you sign anything, go through everything that you don't understand and understand it. Next, you need to get one of these. And you might want to get one of these. Even though you're against it right now, you're going to need it later. And you might want to get what the foundation of this is. I suggest, if it's not a Vidas or a Septuaginta or a Sefer, just not a King James version. Because you're going to need it. Noble Drew Ali said, we're going to use the good book to condemn them. Don't throw it away. It's still your story, just with different edits and cartoon shit added to it. That's it. Gonna use it to condemn them. So, this is how you proclaim nationality. You come into the trust of your ancestry. You come into the love of being who you are as an ancestor yourself. And then you take on a title of nobility. Don't worry. All dirty Moors coming into this movement now, they taking on these names, they're going to perish and get rolled over with Babylon. Don't worry. Ignore them. They here to destroy our children too, so leave them out. Don't give them nothing. Because they've been destroying our children with the colonized mindset and the colonizer. You ain't got to have a certain complexion to be a colonizer. So this is how you proclaim nationality. You come into nationhood and you start coming into trust. And then you trust yourself. You don't trust nobody else but yourself. You can't trust anybody else in law. That's law. And it's reflective. You have to trust your own. And you have to come into your own and stop being a stateless person. In other words, Negro, black and colored, Indian, Ethiopian, and all the other business names. And the other labels that they want to put on you yesterday. Then, in everything you do, it's just simple shit. In everything you do, put God first. Literally put divine things first. Or literally put your say first. Your greatest say. Your greatest invocation first in everything that you do. Put God first. I mean, you heard this stuff before. It ain't like I'm saying nothing new. I'm just putting it in the context under the Moorish nation and what Noble Drew Ali did. So you can make it a power and not just something that you're saying. To put it into action, for real, in law. Because their job has always been to strip you of your God-given rights. That's why they had all these people that want to call themselves black representing that farce, Black Lives Matter, and their main slogan was that they couldn't breathe. If you can't breathe, you can't speak. If you can't speak, you have no standing. You're not standing for nothing. You see? So this is how you proclaim your nationality. And really, this is how you proclaim, I am that I am. The Moorish nation is the greatest nation because it starts with, I am. It don't start with, well, what does U.S. want us to do today? No, it's under Allah's control. And when we say Allah, we mean truth. So whatever I am says for the day, that's what we on. It's the real Moorish nation is about. So put God first in everything that you do. I am. And come into the love of this movement. Don't come here looking to get stuff. Don't come here looking on, well, how can I get out of jail? Don't come here looking on, well, how do I get out of this ticket? Don't come here looking for, well, how do I just get with y'all and just get with y'all? So I can just get with y'all and just dress up and stuff. It's the wrong, and I mean the wrong time to do that. That's been done already. Come into this with real love in your heart. No hate. You ain't gonna last if you got hate anyway in what's to come. I guarantee it. So come in with love. And that's how you proclaim your nationality for real, for real. And then from there, you take those writs of freedom and you put them on your own record. You get with a council or a vizier. Remember how they had, and they spoke all these languages in the cartoon movie Aladdin? And it was all about government and being a council and being vizier and being a prince or an Ali. But anyway, You get with somebody that's competent, that has a Moorish consulate like I do in my territory, that have great seals, that can seal your documents. And then you nationalized. And then you go put that on the record for all men to know. Matter of fact, use the World Wide Web while it's falling. Go use it for record keeping on your own record of your own website, where the whole world can view you saying you are who you are. But make sure that when they see you off the screen, that's who you really are. That's it. It's about speaking up. It's about being active. It ain't about slipping some paperwork under some glass like y'all think. And some secret shit that's some secret paperwork that's going to get you some secret shit for some secret. Need to get out of that shit. It's about being responsible. For real, for real. You want to be a god? It's about being responsible. And taking accountability on everything, and I mean everything that you say and do. That's a real God. That's a real Moor. That's a real divine being. So start being universal like Noble Drew Ali was. And start being a real divine being that get people from every walk of life. And assist them in saving themselves. I'm not saving you for you. I'm helping you to save yourself. That's it. You are already a hero. You just need to be reminded and remember. And no, you're not subjugated to a subordinate temple that says that if you don't claim there, then you ain't no more. When we're all born with the blood and we're born Moors, like Noble Drew Ali said, you need to get out of these lying, conniving ass temples. Islam, love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Grand evening.